I saw all these Black girls in the previews, and I ain't see none of them by the time the end of the season, and y'all down to the barbecue chewing UCHE's ass up. I only see you, and that's it. And I just have a question about that, where is okay. During the process, did you ever feel as though while you're dating these men that they were looking to see if they could decipher who you were as far as like your race? And
Absolutely.
and did you ever feel as though now that they kind of know this, they're on to the next? Because I kind of feel like
absolutely
150%. When I'm watching it, I'm like, it can't just be that production don't want to show off the Black women's. Somebody around this bitch don't like Black women. Okay, we just gonna have a real conversation during Black women, Black Hispanics. I still got mine. Somebody in this bitch don't like Black women. Okay, period. All right, y'all. Okay. Y'all, this is my first Love is Blind interview during Black women's Black Hispanic Asuka. I'm so excited. We're here with the lovely Miriam, and we're going to get to know Miriam. We have so many questions for you. But first and foremost, I just want to tell her, like I've told Miriam before we start this interview, I want to tell Miriam, thank you so much for even being willing to sit down and talk to me about her experience. I know that this experience is crazy. And what I have never really seen when it comes to the Love is Blind experience is just like, I really want to see more tapping into the Black girls and asking the Black girls, like, what are their experience? What is this experience like for you? And especially the girls that we don't hear from. All these seasons, there's been so many girls, so many Black girls, like you just really don't hear from. They kind of like just get thrown into like this black hole. You really never hear from them again. So I feel like you were like the one that seeped through, and I'm like, okay, we got to talk to her. Like, I have to talk to this girl. And also, you're a boss. Not only are you a boss that has your own company, but then you're like me, where you're diasporic. You are of African descent. You know, I'm of Haitian descent, but we're still, you know, team green card. So it's just so many things. I'm like, there's so many similarities. I'm like, I have to talk to this woman and get to know her and get to know not only your experience in the show, but also just who you are as a person. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being willing to talk to me.
You are most welcome, Jessie. Thank you so much for even like giving me the opportunity to speak with you, because for a long time, with all the things that needed clarification, I was thinking, what platform should I go on? Who should I like give my story to? And like I was honestly like even praying about it. And then all of a sudden I started like seeing all the comments from your followers, and I was like, okay, I guess that is a sign, because it literally came at the end of a prayer, because I was like, which direction do I go? And I think this is perfect, because you've got like such an incredible, dedicated following of Black women who are committed to you. And I feel like
that is insane.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
So insane.
Yeah, I was driving back from the post office after dropping off some orders, and I was like, I looked at my phone.
Dropping off her orders. And we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into these orders. But period, I know that's right. Listen, it's crazy, because like I was sitting on my couch thinking about it. I had saw Cameron interview Aaliyah, and I was like, and I didn't really think to reach out to Aaliyah, but when I saw him reach out to you, I said, I'm gonna reach out to Miriam. That's like, it's just like that's what came up in my head. And I was like, I'm gonna reach out to Miriam. I sent you a DM. I'm like, she might not see it. Let me post it. That way everybody can help me. Like, I'm like, girl, y'all help me get to Miriam. So God is good. And so first and foremost, Miriam, where are you from? You know, where is your family from? What do you like to do? Do you like long walks in the park? Where did you go to school? What are your degrees in? I just want to know all those things about you.
Sure. I am from Nigeria. I am
Period.
Nigerian.
It was just on Nigerian Independence Day, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was October 1st. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's this ongoing joke that Nigerians in Nigeria don't even celebrate the Independence Day because, like, yeah, it's a different story back there. But Nigerians overseas, they were like always so particular about celebrating it. That's
Yeah.
funny. But yeah, so my parents, they live in Nigeria most of the time. I mean, they visit quite frequently. Most of my family is in Nigeria, but I have some family here in Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and then what do I like to do for fun? I love travel. I love shopping. I
Period.
love drawing. I'm working on my painting. Some art.
Really?
Yeah. Like art is something that relaxes me. I think it's because it's such a contrast from like science. What else do I love cooking, exploring new recipes.
I gotta ask you a question.
Yeah.
A very, very important question.
Okay.
Who has the best jollof?
I knew it. Nigerian jollof rice.
Who?
Nigeria. I'm sorry. I love you, Ghana. I love you. Beautiful country, lovely people. But Nigeria takes the cake as far as jollof rice goes.
Are you saying? Because see, so my thing with Nigerian jollof is so spicy from what I've tasted. It is so spicy. And somebody in my comments one time, I was like, I like Ghana jollof over Nigerian jollof. Baby, the Nigerians came from my head. It was like, what? You just don't have the strength to eat the Nigerian jollof. There is the strength of the ancestors in the Nigerian jollof. I mean, they was coming from my neck. So do you feel like it always is spicy, or does it have to be spicy? Why is Nigerian jollof so spicy?
No, so it depends on who makes it. You know, some tribes tend to make spicier food. So maybe that's the person who made the ones you've been tasting. Maybe they're from, you know, that's how they cook. But no, it's typically not like, it's not even supposed to be like, you know, overly spicy, because there's a difference between having well-seasoned food and overly spicy food. Like this, the pepper shouldn't overshadow every other thing in the food to the point where it's like uncomfortable to eat it. So no, like the perfect jollof rice is like well seasoned. It's got the smokiness to it. It's, you know, the stew is just yummy.
Oh,
the color is right. And
oh yeah, I feel like Nigerian jollof's color is beautiful. That's one thing I will say. The color is unmatched, like period. And so your family, your parents are still in Nigeria. You're here in Houston. You went to school. What did you go to school for in college? I know I saw you running down your degrees, child. We're gonna get into that. But let's restate, like, what did you get your degrees in, and you know where those degrees led you?
Sure. My parents live in Nigeria for the most part, but they visit, you know, the States quite often from time to time. Yeah. So where do I start? So growing up in Nigeria, like the state of our healthcare system, it definitely needs improvement. And so also being a typical,
a typical Black country. Yeah.
And also being a typical Nigerian, you know, like your parents always want you to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. But like, this wasn't like pressure from my parents. So I really was passionate about, like, you know, being in a medical field. And I told my dad, I'm going to become a doctor when I grow up. And, you know, he'd be like, okay, go be a doctor. I'll build your hospital when you come back to Nigeria. And so, yeah. But so like, you know, I went to the States for school, and like at first I was a bio major. I found it wasn't challenging enough for me. And I also
bio wasn't challenging enough for you, sis?
Yeah.
Lord, you are smart. You was really smart. Girl, I can't even spell biology.
I found chemistry much more like interesting, and I felt like it explains so much about like what happens within us and outside, and biochemistry was like my baby. And so I switched to become a chemistry major because I was like, I'm loving this too much. I need a degree that's going to allow me to explore a different career field if I didn't go into medicine. And so my professor at that time, shout out Dr. Christmas, that's his name, Dr. Christmas.
Oh Lord, not Santa.
I know he like literally opened my eyes to the world of chemistry. And so yeah, I decided to pursue that. And so yeah, my undergrad was in U of H downtown. And
And
then
U of H, for those who don't know, is
University of Houston
okay.
downtown. Because
Okay.
there's several campuses, so I
Okay.
specify the downtown campus. So after graduating, living in Houston, it's an oil and gas city. So immediately my first like jobs were like in the oil and gas industry, because I did some research with like
Mm.
oil and stuff like that. So I started working with some oil and gas industry, some oil and gas companies, and then I went into, I don't know, I started feeling like bored at work. And I was like,
Yeah.
let me go get
Yeah.
another degree. And so,
Right.
and I was like,
Just like a Nigerian woman, just like an
yeah,
African woman, just like a Caribbean woman. One thing we're gonna do, we're gonna collect them degrees. See, let's just go collect a degree. Let's go. Come on.
yeah. And
And then
so
that's when you went to another school.
that's when I went to Hopkins. I was like, okay. And then I went to go get like my master's in biotechnology. At that time, still, I was like, should I still do med school? Should I still do chemistry? I was like, I don't want to go through all the turmoils and all the troubles and heartaches of like the whole med school process, because some of my friends were there and the horror stories were terrifying. And I was loving like my life as a chemist and the freedom and doing all these different things. Anyways, after that, I came back to Houston, worked for some more companies here. And then somebody from this institution in Saudi reached out to me on LinkedIn, and I thought, oh my gosh, what the hell? Is this a joke? Is the US government monitoring me? But
it wouldn't be far-fetched, child. You see the
right.
The US.
But yeah, I looked up the institution, and it was beautiful, and it was a great way to challenge my mind technically. And I was like, yeah, why not? I'm single and there's nothing like holding me to Houston. So I moved out to Saudi and I worked there and like was living there for like 3 years. I mean, within those 3 years, I was also dabbling between Houston and Saudi, and also like traveling a lot because the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, it's literally right in the middle. It's easy to go to Europe, Africa, Asia, everywhere. So that was a fun time. And then when filming started in like April of last year, that's when I had like started moving back to Houston.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the time of filming, I was like, part of my stuff was in Houston, but I wasn't like completely moved back.
I was gonna ask you about that, because I feel like when UCHE asked you about your living, you were like, I'm moving back, but I'm here, but I'm moving back. So is that why you kind of said it like that? Okay.
Yeah. And also like, when you're having these kinds of conversations and all these questions are being thrown at you, and you're like, oh, okay, but in a normal situation, because by the way, that entire conversation, we're gonna get
into that.
Okay.
We're gonna get into that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why
let me hold this thought then.
Right. Don't lose your thought. But I wanted you to explain why it was a little misconstrued and why you did say what you said. It's because at the time you were in transition.
Exactly.
You were in transition. So I know for the most part with casting, when it comes to Love Is Blind, that you're reached out to via Instagram. Is that how you were contacted?
No. So somebody on my Instagram had sent me an application in like 2021, I think, like towards the end. And I was like, whatever. I put in the application. And then like in January of 2022, literally January of last year, a producer called me and they're like, hi, Miriam, we saw your application. I was like, oh, you did? This is like, I had forgotten about this. I think it was several months. I don't even know how long.
Oh, they really do look through the applications?
Guess so. I guess
so.
I don't even remember.
Like anyway, by the time they reached out to you, you had forgotten about it.
Yeah, exactly. So he reached out to me in January, just a random call. And I was in Houston at that time because I usually, even though I was abroad, I was spending the holidays in the States for the most part. So, he was like, yeah, I saw your application. We think you were great. Would love to have you on the show, blah, 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 blah. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. And so, after the telephone interview, set up some like video calls, sent it to the execs for approval. They're like, oh, we love your story. We think you're so interesting. Would love to have you on here. What do we need to do to make it happen? Blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, we're gonna confirm, we're gonna give final cast confirmations by like, I think it was end of March, early April, something like that. So yeah, that's when they reached out, again and said, yeah, you're going to, you congratulations, you're gonna be a cast in this season of Love is Blind. I was like,
hey. So before we even get into the show, living in Houston, well, even though you were transitioning back, but you were living in Houston before you went to Saudi, and you were there for a minute. How is the dating in Houston? I always say, I'm in Atlanta right now, and baby, let me tell you something. These African men, they got the dating scene in the chokehold, baby. Let me tell you. These women are fighting tooth and nail for these Africans in Atlanta. I don't know what's going on. It's about 3 Africans that the whole Atlanta is fighting over right now. Okay, I done seen bitches get their wigs beat off for African.
No.
Then I'm hearing in Houston that the Africans have taken over there as well, and that also that just in Houston, period, there's just a big young African American and diasporic Black community. So dating is kind of hard because everybody's doing good, everybody's looking good, everybody's smelling good. You know what I'm saying? So could you tell me a little bit about what made you even think to apply? Is it that dating in Houston was disgusting?
I mean, honestly, dating in Houston now, it's pretty tragic. I'm not gonna lie. But I am also I'm also tragic. I'm also very adventurous,
Okay.
and at that point I was like newly single. And so I was not familiar with dating apps. I wasn't going to get into that. And also I resonated with the whole idea of Love is Blind because in the real world, that's how I date too. Like I get drawn to personalities and connections first before the physical. So I was like, okay, this makes sense. Whatever. I honestly did not even like take it seriously,
Yeah.
And with the whole African man thing, I get it. I mean, African men, they're charming, they're educated, they look good. Yeah, they also know how to treat the woman right, like as far as like making her feel taken care of and stuff like that. So if you're not, especially if you're not African and an African man like comes at you that way, you'll sweep you off your feet, and before you know it, you're doing crazy things.
Yeah.
But as charming and whatever as they could be, they could also be a handful. So like I feel like Nigerian women should just get like some extra, I don't know.
Yeah, God gonna give y'all an extra. Yeah, God gonna give
some
y'all
grace, some awards for handling these men for the most part. But I mean, that said, though, for the most part, I've had like a great experience with Nigerian men because most of the guys I've dated are Nigerian. Okay. We're not going to talk about that other person yet, but so yeah, they're not all bad. They're not all bad.
I think like
there's a few good ones out there.
Yeah, like even with me, I always say like dating a Haitian man is not for the weak. Yeah. Dating a Haitian man, dating a Caribbean man is not for the weak. However, one thing I love about Haitian men, they know how to cook. I think that's something that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to Haitian men. A lot of Haitian men know how to cook. A lot of Haitian men are very domestic, which is why they look for a domesticated woman because they actually can be very domestic themselves. They're just very, very needy, very demanding, and very gaslighting. Like it's just a thing in our culture. I just always come across that when it comes to Haitian men. It's a whole lot of gaslighting, but at the same time, they'll take care of you. They'll take care of the family. Even if they got 4, 5 families, all the families gonna be taken care of as if they are the only family. So I'll always give that to my Haitian men. Amen, amen. I will always support them in that manner. Now, let's talk about you getting into the experience, right? So boom, you get casted for the show, you ready for your close-up. Do y'all just like show up in this lounge and like you just meet these girls? Like, what's going like? Cause my thing when I be looking at this, I'm like, okay, how all the girls be seeming so close? Like, do y'all meet each other before the process, or do y'all meet each other when y'all just all pop up in this lounge?
No. So after they've decided on who the cast is gonna be, they contact each of us individually. We're not even like included in the same emails.
Okay.
And I think the first time we like met each other as a group was like at the airport. I remember just arriving at the airport and, and then seeing like, all these like different beautiful women. I was like all
Yeah.
collected together. I was like, okay, that must be them. That makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay.
Because they all look like, put together and stuff like that. And they were there as a group. Some people saw each other also well, they saw one another on the flight, but they obviously did not know that they were heading to the same place. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, so when filming starts, I don't know how much of this I can say. I don't want to get into trouble,
No,
with
don't get
giving
in no
away like
trouble. Don't get in
their
no trouble. But I guess my gist of it is because obviously you're not meeting the men because you're talking to them through a wall.
Oh
But as
yeah.
far as the girls, like, so y'all see each other in the airport and y'all kind of like, I guess you guys chit chat a little bit and then boom, you're thrown into the process.
Yeah, so we're transported, to the studio for filming. And well, before we get into to the studio, we're transported to like where we're going to be living, during the filming process. And we'll be going from, our living location to the studio, like, every day for the pod scenes, for the lounges and stuff like that. When filming starts, we're told to not like engage with each other unless we're like in the lounges, you know what I'm saying? So it's in the lounges, we're really getting to like interact with each other freely and stuff like that, because
y'all are coming in and out of talking to the guy and you're chatting with each other. So when you're
everything is like anything that could be like important or like juicy would be recorded and like captured right there. You know what I'm saying? Versus if we're having this conversations, back at like where we're staying or something like that. But no, for our season, the girls, we all got along for the most part.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, y'all seem like y'all got along, especially later on in other scenes we'll talk about too. I got the sense that this particular season, y'all, for the most part, y'all stuck together. Y'all liked each other genuinely. I think I just have questions as far as I saw all these Black girls in the previews, and I ain't see none of them by the time the end of the season, and y'all down to the barbecue chewing UCHE's ass up. I only see you, and that's it. And I just have a question about that, where is okay. During the process, did you ever feel as though while you're dating these men that they were looking to see if they could decipher who you were as far as like your race? And
absolutely.
Did you ever feel as though now that they kind of know this, they're on to the next? Because I kind of feel like
absolutely
150%. I'm like, it can't just be that production don't want to show off the Black women's. So, like it's that's not just it. Because like I've done reality television, I've done scripted television. I'm on a television show right now, Dish Nation. I have a lot of production experience, and I'm just like, okay, I don't think that this is the thing every season. Somebody around this bitch don't like Black women. Okay, we're just gonna have a real conversation during Black women, Black Hispanics. I still got mine. Somebody in this bitch don't like Black women. And so tell me, what are your thoughts on that? And if you ever had any conversations like that with the other Black girls in the experience? Now she froze. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on now. Hello? You see how the devil work? Hold on, not the screen freezing when I got to the meaty questions. Hold on, wait a minute. Miriam, hello. I don't know. I think I lost you after I asked you. How
Oh
do you,
yeah.
yeah, do you
Oh
feel
yeah.
as though once certain men kind of got the feeling that you were a Black woman, they kind of like, and did you ever have any conversations like that with the other Black girls?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, telling who I like where I was from, obviously gave off my race. And I think that definitely probably impacted certain choices that were being made in there. And
Mm-hmm.
but I did still go on to make a connection though. So let's just put that,
Oh, we're gonna get to that too,
yeah,
because I
we'll
saw
get
that tea.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, the other Black girls on the show, on this season, they had this, they complained bitterly about that. Like, they're like, I don't feel like, um, there's anybody for me in here. I don't feel like the show is for Black women. I feel like maybe even the Black guys here are not into Black women. And, I don't know if I should name drop, but like one of the girls, she was like crying, and she went home pretty early. I think maybe day 3 or day 5 or something like that. It was really heartbreaking to see because she's great. She's got a lovely personality, but yeah, obviously from her voice, you could tell she's Black, and I feel like nobody was really even trying to get to know her beyond that. You know what I mean?
Right. That's
So,
just so sad.
mhm.
That's so sad because I every season I'm so thankful that the first season we saw Lauren. We got Lauren and Cameron. Thank God. Then it took like, 3 more seasons, and then we got Tiffany and Brett. Oh my God. Thank God. You know what I mean? And then it was looking like we was gonna get another Black love story. And obviously we see how that ended up, and we're gonna get into that. But I remember, I think it was like season 2. I think it was like the season where, what's that girl? She had the short haircut and she was married to the boy who had
Oh yeah,
his bed on the floor.
Ayana.
Yes. She got married to the man who didn't have a bed frame or headboard. He didn't have no nightstand, nothing. Lord jeez, they don't be having no bed frames or headboards, but they don't love is blind looking for love. They looking for a wife, but they ain't got no bed frames. And I remember even her season seeing like a couple Black women. I was like, it's about to be lit. And it was nothing. It's just like, we just kept getting nothing. And I'm like, okay, I guess when you guys are voicing this, is there any feedback from production about that? Or, or do you know if there has ever been any feedback from production about that?
I didn't say anything like that to production, so I didn't, I don't know what it could have said.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't know if the other like Black girls, talked to production about that and what their responses were. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I was still continuing on. I had made a connection, but yeah, no, I don't know. And you know what? You know what's crazy about this though? It's
Yeah.
like you can't really tell, like, from just looking at a Black man, even, right?
Yeah.
If he's going to be into a Black woman or not. The same way you can't tell by looking at a non-Black man if he's going to be into a Black woman or not.
Right.
So I think, regardless of who's cast, you don't really know until the show continues and get to see people for who they are, or
Right.
better yet, behind the scenes, all the shit that starts happening, and you start to see
Yeah.
people's true colors and what their actual preferences are, regardless of what they say or how they present. So I think this situation, I don't even know how production could fix it. I mean, what? I mean, unless the guys decide telling, so how many different races have you dated?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like I want Kinetic to be like, okay, do y'all like Black women? Like, okay, terms and conditions, must like Black women. Like, I don't know if there's a petition we can send on down to Love is Blind people, Kinetic, Netflix. We might have to put that in the terms and conditions, because I do. And my thing is, people who are not Black, they always kind of feel like, it's not a race thing. It is. It is. And if you're not a Black woman, you're not going to understand. And a lot of times you could understand, but a lot of people refuse to empathize, with the struggle of the Black woman when it comes to dating. But however, too, what I do like about Love is Blind is that you do get the Camerons. You know what I mean? You do get the Bretts. They might be far and few between, but you do get the men who specifically are looking for a Black woman. Like, they are looking for that. And so I think that even though we don't get those situations a lot, I am thankful for that. Now, let's talk about your experience and your connections. How many connections did you make aside from Supercuts hairline? How many connections did you make? Oh yeah, we're gonna have a good time. You ain't gotta troll, but I'm gonna troll. How many connections did you make, sis?
Okay,
Miriam.
so let's just get into it. Right off the bat, I also think this is probably something production thought, like with me being Nigerian and UCHE being Nigerian, they probably thought, ooh, we're gonna get like Nigerians together, like, ooh, we're gonna have a Nigerian wedding.
I didn't even think about that.
And I that's my theory. I feel like that's probably maybe something that they assumed would happen. Thankfully, that did not happen.
Lord, God is good.
I mean, we dated a couple of times, in the pods. And when I got a sense of his like arrogant behavior, I mean, prior to that, even he had done a couple of things to piss off some other girls. And, I was like overlooking that until like I became like a victim of it in the pods. And I was like, what the hell? Okay, this is not going to work. So I broke up with him in the pods. I think this was like day 5 or so, or 6. I don't remember.
Okay, so you broke up with him.
Hell yeah. And that was when he started.
Okay, hold on, wait. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, you know what? Hold on, wait. Because, okay, first I want to start off with the conversation where we see him asking you about your living situation, then he's asking you about your career, and then you bring up your company, right? So first, I want to clear this up because on my channel, and Miriam made sure she dragged me in my email chat. She said, first of all, you was accusing me. You was accusing me of selling Michael Jackson cream to the girls, and that is not what I'm doing. And so I want to tell you publicly, I apologize for that. But like I told you, in watching it just was like you were very like ambiguous in the way you were speaking about it. I don't know if maybe that they just kept cutting it off, because now that you talk, now I'm talking to you, I feel like when I think about it now, even looking at the way he would question Aaliyah and just like kind of like hammer her with the questions, you guys' reactions was different. Aaliyah's reaction is more like to kind of like dumb down, like little by little you see her like shrinking into her seat. You're like like, okay, and maybe he just was hitting you too much with the questions. I don't know, maybe you can enlighten me on that. But I feel like the way it was set up, it did make it look like, okay, girl, I mean, what else? What kind of cream is she selling to the girls? So I just want to make sure we talk about that and get that out of the way before we get into everything else. You have your company. Let me know. Let the people know what the name of your company is. What you're selling the girls. I'm gonna open up my package while you talk about it, child.
Okay. So, yeah. First of all, I mean, as you can see from like speaking, I'll let you show.
Because Miriam got a product, period.
Zack and Lucy.
We're going to make sure the girls understand. We got Zack and Lucy. First of all, oh my God. First of all, the packaging is beautiful. I love this. I love this.
All eco-friendly, recyclable, and reusable.
I was going to say, and even the material, you could tell it's like vegan, right?
The ingredients, yes, they're vegan, plant-based. Mm-hmm.
Yes, hello, beautiful. Welcome to Zack and Lucy family. We are excited for you to enjoy the benefits of our all-natural products and share your unique story with us. Okay, kindly tag and follow us at Zack and Lucy on social media. I know that's right, www.zackandlucy.com. Miriam, come on, tell the people about your product, child.
Okay, so Zack and Lucy is my skincare brand that I started recently. We actually officially launched our store on February of this year. We have a line of buddy butters that are made with 4 core ingredients: shea butter, sweet almond oil, grapeseed oil, and vitamin E oil. Our scented ones have amazing, like, you know, ouds in there or essential oil combinations. So no fragrance oils.
Oh,
That's the
no,
lavender.
I'm not even kidding. Like, this smells amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, this smells amazing. I'm
Thank
sorry to interrupt
you.
you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but go ahead. And
No,
you
so
know
I
what?
mean,
Because I have a lot of, I have very, because I have very dry skin, and I have, I deal with a lot of, I deal with eczema a little bit. Girl, nah, I ain't even gonna hold y'all.
yeah. So I actually, Zack and Lucy was born out of a personal struggle with like dry inflammatory skin. And so I wanted to create a solution to that, but I wanted it to be really clean, healthy ingredients. So I love that, you know, the reviews have been great so far. And I love the difference it was making, you know, on my skin. And that's actually what, you know, made me want to make it available to the public. So that's my baby. And I have exciting plans for Zack and Lucy. So this is just our starting point. Hopefully we'll continue to expand. People have been asking me if I'm going to create something for the face as well. That's something I'm looking into. So let's see.
Well, I mean, you definitely want to take your time, but also not take your time, because demand will, as demand does increase. But this smells amazing. Like, it smells amazing. And I say this all the time on my channel, that I do have dry skin. Everybody that knows, that follows me, knows I have very, very, very dry skin. And now, like, it's about to be winter, and my skin is about to look like, you know, it smokes crack. So I'm definitely going to be using this, and I want to thank you. But do you feel as though maybe you were you like just starting out the company when you guys were filming?
Yeah, so at the time of filming, I was still working on the brand. I was still building it. I hadn't decided, you know, what range of products I'm gonna like kick off with. I was working on some scents. That's actually another thing that like took a very long time. So I wasn't ready to speak about it yet. So that's why, you know, I was not being very forthcoming about it, because I was like, okay, I don't want to give away too much because it's still in the works. Also, I don't want to be here describing my company so then it'll look like I'm just here to promote my business, you know? So I would like, because people just like draw conclusions either way, and she's just here to promote her business. And I didn't want it to look like that. So I tried to just like summarize that conversation and get it out the way. And when I said distinct composition, I was trying to describe it as something unique. Distinct means unique. Composition means formulation, which is what, you know, this body butter is. So, but then with all that said, that scene that people saw in episode 1, that was a combination of, you know, dates from, you know, the first day. That was actually me walking into the pods. That was our second date that day.
So all those clips, when they played it as if you were just talking to UCHE, it wasn't just you talking to UCHE.
No. If you look at it, you can even tell in the scene, there's a part where my feet are on the floor with my shoes on, and then my feet are on the couch with my shoes off, and then the back on the floor with my shoes on again. That actual conversation lasted like almost an hour. So everything was explained. As you can hear, I speak coherently.
You do?
I don't have a problem articulating, you know, my thoughts or describing what I do. So, but then, you know, they clipped all, everybody says when they talk. And so they looked at all these different clips where I've been saying and they put it in there. And I feel like the reason they did that was to set the stage for episode 8, where we had that, you know, blowout. So, but I was like, okay, even if you really needed to set the stage for that scene, you didn't have to do me dirty like that. You didn't have to make me look like I'm this like phony, shady person. Like it was, no, honestly, that bothered me so much. Watching that scene, I wanted the couch to like swallow me. I was like, what is this? This is so destructive to my integrity. You know, as an individual, a business owner, you know, even a professional. Like, I was like, imagine people at work, like seeing this, like, what would they make of me, you know? So, yeah, no, I hate that. But, you know, these producers, they honestly don't care.
I know, like I did one season of a show called Love is the Love and Hip Hop, and I was like, yeah, I'm never doing this again. Never doing this again. I know how they can position things and make you look like you're arguing with yourself, or I know how they can do it. I do feel like there's a way to get that without breaking someone's character. You know what I mean? There's a way to do that, and we see it get done. So while I do love Love Is Blind, I do think that, yeah, like the producers can do a better job. Like y'all can cook, but y'all ain't gotta cook with dirty grease. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I definitely empathize with you on that, and I'm really sorry that I'm sorry that you had to go through that. And I remember, like I said, reading your email, I was like, damn. I mean, I didn't really think about that affecting her as a business owner, which is very, very true. And it's so hard as a Black woman, a Black business owner. You're in the skincare realm that is so saturated with products that are not even half this good.
Thank you. Oh,
you know what I mean? And so I'm just like, so again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to apologize to you, and I will definitely be ordering. And I thank you so much for sending me some Zack and Lucy. And I hope all my sisters out there will make sure that we support Miriam in her endeavors and her skincare line. So yeah. So.
Oh, and by the way, my skin tone, I was born like this.
Oh my God,
you did this in the elbows, right? And the knuckles.
Yes.
Look at it. I can hold on. There it is.
Look at it.
I got it from my mama. She's even lighter than me. I will send you a picture of me and my mom as me as a baby with her. So
yes, no, and
I'm curious.
Check me on that. Check me out for real, because again, too, like I was telling you too, when the speech and then the lighting for me, I was like, okay, is she skin bleaching? Is she like, because it's not off base for I'm Haitian. Skin bleaching is pretty big, not as big in the Haitian community as I would say maybe in Jamaica or in some other Caribbean places. And then I have Indian friends who have the whole skin lightening thing. And then I know in Africa, skin lightening is huge. So for me, it just was easy for me to like, okay, she's skin bleaching. But at the same time, again, that is hurtful, because first of all, it's harmful to the skin. And I'm pretty sure you as a chemist can attest to that. That is very harmful to the skin. And then also too, that at the end of the day, you don't want to sell whiteness to Black women. You know what I mean? Like, that's really like the biggest gist of it all. It's like, you don't want to sell whiteness to Black women. You do want Black women to love their skin. Oh my God, wait. Oh, did I lose her again? Lord Jesus, Lord have mercy. Wait a minute. Come back, girl. Come back. Jack, come back. Oh my
Jessie.
God. I don't know what
keeps happening. And it's right when we're in
exactly like it happens right when things are getting good. But yeah, no, as I was saying, I definitely want you to check me on that as well, because we never want to sell whiteness to Black women. Exactly. It's just not okay. And then, and outside of that too, skin bleaching is very harmful to the skin.
Exactly.
So you as a chemist, this is your thing, that. And so again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to apologize about that as well. And I'm glad that, we're getting all that on the table so that people can know that is not what you're doing. You are selling moisturizers, body butters to the girls. You're making sure that we are looking like we fresh out the frying pan and that we are moisturized for the gods. And I mean, honestly, it's even now it feels really good, and the product is really good. So very proud of you.
Thank you.
Again, gonna support it and make sure that all the girlies, rally around you and make sure that we buy it as well. So
I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Of course. Guys, at least I could do, especially just making sure other Black girls, that it's hard. So however we could all make sure we push each other, I'm always down for that. So let's talk about, you were saying earlier about your connections in the pods, that you had made other connections, and that with UCHE by date 5, you broke things up with him, and that you had become a victim of the things that other girls in the pods were complaining about. What were the other girls complaining about?
Yeah, they're like he speaks so condescendingly, he's so arrogant. They're like they felt like they were being judged by him. And so I was like, okay, well, I mean, I was one of those girls who didn't really talk about the people that they were dating because I feel like that would cause things to be so awkward. So kind of like how Stacy kept her dates to herself, I
Yeah.
kept mine to myself as well because it's weird. We're all like forming friendships, and I feel how do you tell another woman I dating the same guy? But I think eventually as time went on, people kind of start figuring out some things. But
Yeah.
anyways, so yeah, I walked in there. I think this is probably after the whole thing when Aaliyah was crying. And he had like just snapped at me. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I wasn't even like nosy about this situation. Like, even if you watch the show, when Aaliyah walks into the lounges and everybody like rushes towards her to go like console her and everything, I'm just like, keeping to myself. I'm not a nosy person. I mind my business. So, cause I went in there and he was talking about how he's had a rough day and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, so what happened? He was like, it's none of your business, something like that. I was like, wait, what? What the hell? So it was in that moment I was like, okay, yeah, this is not gonna work. I'm not this is not gonna work. So
do you feel that his tone with like when other girls would talk about UCHE, do you feel that his tone with different girls that it was different depending on who they were? Because like I feel like you could kind of sum up, okay, Miriam is Nigerian. You guys said that. You guys are both Nigerian. Okay. I think you could sum up that Aaliyah was Black.
Yeah.
Do you feel like his tone would change depending on who it was and what the feedback was from the girls? I'm just saying that based on what the girls would say. Or was he just a jackass to everybody?
Both, a little bit of both. So, but
okay.
in the pods, obviously, I wouldn't know how his tone was with other girls because I wasn't there when he's speaking with them. But like watching episode 8 and seeing how he reacted to the other women versus when I try to get a word out, yeah, that definitely confirms that, okay, he's got like a different approach, different tone with different, types of women versus with me. And I think that, or women like me, let me say, not just me, but women like me, because definitely I think being Nigerian, familiarity breeds contempt. Like, he probably thinks that he can just do whatever, but he tried it with the wrong person.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what was crazy though was when I broke up with him in the pods, he was like, do you want to tell me about the other guys you're dating? If you want to know anything about them, I can find out and like let you know. And I was like, no, thank you. If I need to know anything about the man I'm talking to, I can just ask him directly. And he got pissed. Like he didn't like that. Like, he snapped back at me again. And I was like, bye, dude. I left the pods. And that's when he started talking shit about me, basically. That's when it started.
So he was trying to play chess. It sounds like he was trying to play chess because in the show too, it looks like indirectly he was involved in Lydia's dating. For instance, like the commentary that he would make to Milton, even before he revealed that, okay, Lydia and him had a past, but just the commentary that he would make here and there about her. So based on you saying that, I'm picking up that he was inserting himself in different situations to get ahead, maybe?
I don't know what his end game was, but he was definitely in other people's business and he didn't need to be. And you know what's crazy? I didn't even know this, any of this was going on. It was different castmates that started telling me that, hey, Miriam, did you hear he said this about you? And did you hear he said this about you? And I was like, what is up with this guy? I don't even
you did
know
say,
you.
okay, so in season 8, okay, so let's go to episode 8 because you did say that. So let's go to episode 8. Y'all down to the barbecue. So before we get into your riffraff with him, can we get into what was the girls' sentiment on Lydia? Because it looked like you guys were rallying behind her and you guys liked her.
Yeah, because like, I mean, her story, like her side of the story, it was different from what he was saying. So when he came there to, talk about it, it just was not adding up with what we had heard. So we're trying to tell him, this is different from what we heard. This is not how she describes the situation.
And
So
how was she describing their situation? Because remember, from what I saw, he was trying to make it seem as though Lydia was trying to break him and Aaliyah up from the beginning. And y'all were like, no, 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 no. She didn't start revealing you guys' like intimate details until it was revealed that y'all was together, and until it was revealed that you basically bullied Aaliyah, knowing that your ex was here.
yeah, like, so from day one, we didn't know. The rest of the cast didn't know. And honestly, like I said, I wasn't even in like their business. I didn't even know the details of all of that. The whole thing that was happening with him and Leah, I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was, I think, several days later when production said it was okay for her to like disclose it to us. That's when, she came and, she told us that, hey, by the way, my ex is here. And we're all like, wait, what the fuck?
Right.
This whole time I was completely unaware of whatever conversations she had with Aaliyah. Was none of my business. I didn't even know any of that was going on, but I did know the whole, what everybody knew, that her ex was there. And I was like, what the hell? Because couple of days before her telling all of us, she was crying, and we're all like trying to figure out, why are you crying? Why are you crying? What happened? And she didn't tell us why. And then it was several days later that they revealed to us why. I think at the point she was crying, she was scared that she was going to be let home.
Okay, so Lydia was crying. Okay, got it. So now, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what I know about that. But damn, it's been like a year and a half ago. What I honestly, I don't keep all of that nonsense in my head. Right. So I don't know the details of what Lydia was saying versus what UCHE was saying.
Oh yeah. That doesn't even matter, because like we have both of their sides, and to be honest, Lydia's side just makes more sense. And then as time goes by and you're watching the show, it's clear that he lied about them just being a fling, because you don't keep going back and forth with somebody for 2 years. No, y'all were in a relationship, point blank, period.
Exactly.
So now we down to the barbecue. Y'all trying to eat. Y'all got corn on the cob. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got hamburgers on the fry, on the grill. Y'all got hot dogs on the grill. And here come UCHE with his brunch boots, coming in with his supercuts, coming in sashaying, thinking he about to drag the girls. And so here's what I didn't like. And I said that, I'm glad you touched on it, because I said it even in one of my reviews. When he started breaking down the whole Aaliyah thing, obviously he was twisting the truth, and all the girls were in an uproar. You had Stacy, who elevated herself from her seat. She had literally 1 foot off of her chair, hands in the air. You had sister girl who was sitting next to you, pretty little Asian thing. Can't remember her name. Yeah, she was next to you, and she's like, hold up. And so all the girls were in an uproar, and it was fine. The minute the Black woman spoke, this man turned into the sassiest of sassiest I have ever. I'm talking about the sass jumped out, baby. The sass jumped off my TV screen. I had to get sass repellent and start repelling sass in my home. But I'm just like, what in the anti-Black woman is this? Because all the other girls are dragging you. And Miriam is like saying the same thing. And so tell me about that moment, because obviously it was cut down, but tell me about that moment and how that felt.
Yeah, that was like shocking. Like, what the hell? I barely even got a word out. But I wasn't entirely surprised, because he's just something else. He's unbelievable. And you know, the reason I was also like, you know, I got so heated was because right before that barbecue, you know, episode started filming, I had heard again from one of the girls
that he was talking about.
Yes. So, and I don't even know if I should say what he said.
No, say that shit.
So apparently I had heard that he was telling the guys that Miriam is looking for a sugar daddy. Miriam is not here for the right reasons. Yeah. It was like, she's looking for a sugar daddy. Apparently that's what he had told to my connection. And that was one of the reasons, you know, he pulled out, because guy I was dating, we were like going strong up until then. And like, oh my gosh, I got furious because like,
Brunch Boots was in here killing your connections.
Yeah.
But he was mad that Lydia was killing his connection?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who was your connection, Miriam?
Connor.
Oh, so the streets was right.
Yeah, that was right. But I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, well, fuck Connor. We ain't talking about Connor. So basically, Brunch Boots was in here destroying your connection and then had the nerve to call you bitter.
Right, exactly. First of all, that's like the most cliche thing a basic Black man would say to a Black woman is, you're bitter. Like, dude, you're the bitter one. Like, I'm, you know, living my life. And then I was infuriated by the sugar daddy comment, because like anybody who knows me knows I'm so hardworking. I'm pretty enough to have a sugar daddy. What do you say? What did you say?
I said you are the sugar.
Exactly. I am my own sugar daddy. And then
sugaring already.
And then I was like, first of all, if I'm looking for a sugar daddy, is Love is Blind the show that I'll come on to for that?
Hello, we got niggas in here who ain't got no nightstands. We got men in here with no nightstands, no plates, no cups, no nothing. So where was they gonna put the sugar in? They ain't got no plates, they ain't got no cups, they ain't got no spoons to pull the sugar from the damn sugar container. What are we talking about?
Yeah, and then knowing what I know now, it's safe to assume that I make more than the guys on that show. Like,
it's
without
very
a doubt.
Safe to assume that. It's very safe to assume that. It's very safe to assume that, Miriam. First of all, we can line all them up. It's very safe, girl. Listen, we're not gonna sugarcoat nothing around here. It's very safe. Because one thing about Kinetic and them, I don't know where they be pulling these men from. These men do not need to be looking for wives. They need to be going on www.careerbuilder.com. Okay? And they need to go find a job, Izzy. Okay? Go find a job. But go ahead. So basically, no. Now I'm mad. So Supercuts was in here.
Exactly. So people watching it and they're like, oh, what's her problem? She just like got so mad for no reason. She needs to shut up and keep him. So there's like so much that happens behind the scenes that people don't even know. So imagine, you know, and when I heard that, I was like, okay, God, Miriam Wusa. But as I'm walking into this barbecue, I swear to God, if this man tries me, I would give it to him. I'll give him what he's been asking for. Yeah. And you know, that's what happened. Like, I wasn't even trying to, even, you know, if you watch the scene, you can see me, I'm being quiet until the point where he's just keeps saying things that are so contradictory. And I try to speak and he interrupts me. And so, and then he starts attacking everything. Like, first of all, he wasn't seeking any clarity on what I do or where I live or my business, because we talked about that extensively in the pods. So much so that we found out that at some point we both worked for the same company in Houston, but at different times. So he did know all of that. He wasn't trying to seek any clarification. He was just trying to belittle me on camera. He was trying to make me seem, you know, as this crazy girl that's making up stuff. He even told me he's impressed that, you know, by all the things I've accomplished. All of this was said. So for you to come to the barbecue and act brand new, like, oh, where do you live? Where do you work? So that's why I was like, can you believe this guy? This is crazy. So yeah, I wish they showed everything I said, because I think that went on for like 5 to 10 minutes. I was screaming so loud.
First of all, you ate his ass up. When you said, first of all, keep your toxic masculinity to yourself. You are so you was eating his ass up. Let me tell you what happened. and I said this in my review, Nigerian women are the only women that could deal with Nigerian men. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And when you see a Nigerian woman arguing with Nigerian man, keep your non-Nigerian stuff, like stay out of Nigerian people. And then furthermore, if you see two black people arguing, shut the fuck up. Like, I could not understand why them girls kept putting their hands on you and telling you to calm down. Like, girl, let her get her thoughts out. She was eating his ass up. She was eating. So much so that he walked away. The man had to sashay away. He had to walk his sassy ass on over to the other side of the barbecue. It wasn't no condiments or nothing over, no drinks, no nothing. Sushi walked his ass all the way over to the other side. You were eating his ass up. And so I felt like what happened was you were so on point with the actual matter, and he couldn't address that. Yeah. He wasn't gonna win that. So now he had to do the whole, oh, do you have a business? Yes, she do. Yes, she do. She do got a business. Yes, she do. Yes, she do. She got a business. What's up? Oh, are you educated? Yeah, I do got degrees. And you were naming your degrees. You said, yes, John Hopkins. Like, you was eating him up. Here, you ate. Don't let nobody tell you didn't eat. You ate. I just really, from my thing, it was, how did people just not see the difference in his reaction to you versus the other girls and not say, okay, y'all, this is a problem. Yeah. This is a problem. So much so that I even think Stacey was like, yeah. You know, so like, what was the sentiment with the girls when it came to him, like post the barbecue?
Okay, so like this is also another thing they didn't show. Like, you know, after I was done, they like, you know, the girls like, you know, they just like hugged me. They're like, you know, Miriam, it's okay. We all know you, and you know, he's a jerk. He's all of that. He's arrogant. Like, you know, he's not worth your time. You know, they were all comforting me and saying like really reassuring things. Because you know, everybody admits that yes, he is a piece of work, you know? Yeah. So yeah, they were all saying that sentiment is general amongst the female cast, at least for the most part. I mean, some people are, you know, cordial with him, and you know, some are even friends with him. I don't know, but and good luck to them. But yes, we all do admit that, you know, there's something absolutely
the matter
appalling about his behavior. And you know, it's most of the times it's hard for people to see that because he sounds he uses his tone, and you know, he sounds like he's making sense. Sounds he's a lawyer, so this guy must be logical. What he's saying is, you know, let's give him an ear. But no, it's strategy.
It's very passive aggressive with a nice nasty tone. It's just that is what it is. And so like, let's talk about post the pods. Like, do you hang out with anybody? Have you made connections with anybody post the show? Because I see like some people have made connections like post the show. You know, what's that about? What's that looking like?
Yeah, the girls, we hang out a lot. I mean, not all of us, like some of us, obviously, because there's some groups that get along better than others. So yeah, we hang out a lot. That's actually one thing I'm quite thankful for from like this entire process, is I feel like I've made some lifelong some lifelong friendships with the girls. And then as far as connections after the show, I mean, I've dated since filming Wrapped, but I haven't really focused on that too much because I've just been busy. So many things have been happening, you know, between work and like trying to, you know, get Zack and Lucy like running at full speed. So I've been very busy. But yeah, we hang out. And sometimes too, you know, we have some, you know, events, and the guys, some guys show up. Some guys are cool. You know, some guys are pretty cool. They're cool. They might not be like, you know, the right match with some of the girls, but they're cool, like socially.
I do feel like, I mean, I like the show, but I feel that my overall sentiment when it comes to these shows is I do feel like the choice of men doesn't always reflect the choice of the women who are casted. I do want to see men who have a stronger background and a stronger careers. For instance, like he was super young, but Milton being, doing what he does, like I kind of want to see more of that, especially when it comes to like the black men. And even with UCHE, even though he's sassy as hell, him being a lawyer, he's obviously very smart and very articulate, minus, the psychopathness that he got going on. But I would like to see more men with actual careers. Do you think the casting on Love is Blind Houston reflects the men of Houston?
Absolutely not. This was
Okay.
shocking for all the girls. We're like, what the hell? Okay, dating in Houston has its challenges, but we're all like, what is up with this cast? Like, because I mean, for the most part, the women had their shit together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
No,
when people got into the real world and they're finding out all these truths, and I don't mean to talk down on anybody's
but
shade.
it's the truth. No, but it is the truth.
It is true. Because just like you said, like some people didn't have headboards. Same with our situation. Like, I mean, how are you talking about like trying to get married and you don't even have a headboard? Like you can barely afford your rent. Like sustaining and maintaining a family is expensive. Having kids is expensive. Having a good quality of life, it costs money. Or even just, can you at least just have some kind of like stability with your employment situation? Like, yes, love is important for a marriage to work, but finances are like the number one cause of like divorces, So,
right. And last time I cannot pay my light bill in love. I'm sorry. I cannot go down to the light bill. People say, you know what? I'm in love.
Yeah.
They're going to say, that's nice. Where's the check at?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good for you. So
I don't know. And then I haven't even tallied the numbers, but I feel like the ratio of like guys in their 20s to the ratio of women in their 30s.
Oh my God, I'm so happy you said that. Because I did want to get your insight on that too. I do feel like the age is problematic to me. Yeah, the age is problematic. I'm rooting for them, but damn, like a 24-year-old boy. I mean, he's a man, but a 24-year-old man with a 31-year-old woman, I could see if she was 36 and he was 31. Okay. But 24 and 31, no. It just, no, there's no way. It does not work. What do you think about just the age? I don't know. I would just feel like, this is my opinion, I feel like it should be at the very least, 29 and up. 29 and up. I feel like 29 is like, it's like 30. So I'll give you that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
24, you're supposed to be on Bumble, you're supposed to be on Facebook dating, you're supposed to be on Hinge, baby. You're supposed to be on, what's that other thing where people be swiping just for sex? What's you're supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to listen. It's 24. You're supposed to be doing this. Not Love is Blind. No. So, what do you think about like the age?
I mean, okay. First of all, I don't want to speak on their situation, but I do agree that I mean, I feel like generally speaking, my preference would not be a 24-year-old man to marry me.
Yeah.
And but with that said, age doesn't always equal maturity. As we can see, the oldest guy in this cast was, acting out wildly. But so I think that there should be some kind of like cutoff or something, or age requirements. It's, it's just to keep things like safe. But I don't know if they do this for dramatic purposes, because it'll always be a talking point if there's like
That's true.
A younger guy with an older woman, that's like more stuff for people to talk about. It's like, oh my gosh, this is not going to work. And this is this is that. So it makes good TV. So maybe that's why they keep doing that. I don't know, but
yeah. I just, I feel like it's just, because then too, the other way around too, you'll have maybe the men going for the younger girls too. It's like, so it does create that, like you said, like it gives you that storyline, for entertainment, but in the end, I mean, does it really work? You know? So anyway, so in conclusion, do you feel that Love is Blind, and do you feel that the experience itself does work?
All right, so let me answer this scientifically.
Get your Milton on. One thing about Milton, he gonna give us an equation, child.
Given the number of couples that have, come out of each season in comparison to the sample size going in, and then how many have actually remained married after the seasons have wrapped up, it is logical to say that love is not blind. If by blind you mean not just physical, but like the realities of life, their living situation, their financial situation, how they are socially with people, their thoughts and ideas and things like that. It's naive to just say, oh, I'm in love, let's get married. No, what world do you live in? So factor in all of that in. I wouldn't say love is blind. Sorry. Now, I would agree that you could definitely make very solid, genuine connections with somebody. And that's like I said, that's how I lead with my relationships, right? It's like strong emotional connections, who they are as a person and stuff like that. But all those other things factor in, to my decision to be with them or marry them or anything like that. So if we have like a magical, strong connection, but every other thing is lacking, I'm not going to marry you. You know what I mean? So that's my thought on that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I feel that I feel that the experience itself, to me as a viewer, I see how it could work. Because I mean, you have cultures that do arranged marriages all the time. So I see how it could work. I just think that everything that you said is correct, but also something in the casting department has gone tragically wrong. I mean, just tragically wrong. Season 1, I feel like was so good as far as there was just more of a balance. As the seasons are going, I just feel like, okay, what are we looking for as far as career, as far as like the money that these people are bringing in? Like, this has to make sense. You have to set people up to make sense. But then again, I understand that making TV is, making good TV is necessary as well to keep the lights on. I still feel like you can still get the drama, you can still get all that, even if you just make sure, at the very least, that everybody on the cast has a nightstand.
Please. Don't make me
That's all I ask. My Lord. Okay, Miriam, listen, I done took up so much of your time, child. I thank you again so much for chatting with me. Let everybody know where to follow you on every social media platform. Also, let everybody know how they can get their own Zack and Lucy, what your aspirations are for Zack and Lucy, and what you got coming up.
Sure, thank you so much. You can follow me on Instagram at Mima_. That's at MIMAH_. On TikTok, it's at Mima_XO. And Zack and Lucy's Instagram handle is just as its name sounds, Zack and Lucy, with a K.
Yes.
Same for Twitter and Facebook. Like I said, I have exciting plans for Zack and Lucy. We have our Buddy Butters and our 6 different scents and an unscented version for those with more sensitive skin types. These scents are amazing. They're the added cherry on top, but as Jessie just testified,
they smell good.
Luscious on your skin. And our ingredients are absolutely phenomenal. Let's see where, how things go over the next couple of years. But yeah, I want to expand. I want to broaden my range of products, even go into different things. It could be because I love fashion too. So maybe I'd, make a line, with Zack and Lucy as well.
I think Zack and Lucy just sounds so like, yeah, you could put that on a lot of different things.
Exactly.
But I definitely see this like Ulta, Sephora, Target. Like I definitely see the aesthetics and of it all, and it's really, really good. So I look forward to you expanding it. And also, girl, I've never been to Houston. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I do get a chance to go out to Houston, let the people know like what do you like to do in Houston? Like what's your favorite restaurant? Like just in case your husband is watching this.
Oh my gosh.
Not them kinetic husbands, they try to set your ass up. Not brunch boots, but what does my girl like to do when she's in Houston? What does she like to hang out at?
So Houston has a beautiful, diverse like restaurant scene. As Houston's a melting pot. There's so many different ethnicities in here. So you can find anything from like, different kinds of Asian food, African food, Western food, European, like Western, European falls under that. But there's so many different kinds of like culinary delights over here, and they range from like high end to like just regular and everything in between. They taste great too. The ambience is also wonderful. I love to hang out in the Uptown area, the River Oaks area. There's lots of lovely restaurants there. The Heights area and Midtown has, delicious restaurants too. Man, will all of them come to mind right now? But I think a good starting point might be the River Oaks district and checking out the restaurants over there and the lounges. CL is also this, new lounge that opened up. It's fun. Traveler's Table has delicious food. It's also very international in there, and it's perfectly curated. Yeah.
Oh, it comes up right when I put it too. Comes up right when I put it.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Ooh, and then I don't know. I think there's like with Houston being so close to, or Texas being so close to Mexico, there's like really good Mexican food here.
True.
The tacos are
amazing.
amazing.
Y'all are gonna get the good stuff. Y'all are gonna get the good stuff. Well, thank you again, Miriam, for spending your Saturday with me. I'm so excited to get this out to everyone. I wish you well. And again, I wish you well with the company. I wish you well with your dating. I wish you well with your business, everything. And I look forward to seeing you just flourish, period, in life. So
thank you so much, Jessie. You're so sweet. Thank you for having me on here. It's been an absolute pleasure. You're such a joy to watch. Thanks for giving me this platform to air things out from my perspective. Yeah. Thanks for trying Zack and Lucy and giving your rave reviews. I'm looking forward to connecting with you more in the future. And if you ever come to Houston, just let me know. I'll be sure to show you a fantastic time.
You taking me to Traveler's Table.
Oh, and more.
Period. and you taking me to the Jollof. You taking me to the travel, and I need the Jollof too, because I heard the Jollof in Houston is really good too. So again,
I got you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.